How's it going, everyone? I'm Grizzly
And
from
I'm
Arctos Gaming,
and I'm Beal
sitting
the Seal.
alongside,
Beal the Seal.
and we're bringing you some professional, high-quality video game content on this podcast. We decided to rebrand the Clan Dino Gaming YouTube channel, or already assets, to Arctos Gaming because I was kind of like the main contributor of what was Clan Dino Gaming, and my friend Beal the Seal, who's sitting here with me, is going to help me do like other content, such as this podcast, and other future videos as well. So depending on what kind of stuff that would be. So I guess we're going to start off with this podcast by talking about news. So this podcast is going to be like us trying to do a pretty weekly thing, just talking about the games we play, the games we like to play, future games that are coming out and stuff like that. And it's sort of something that I've wanted to do for a bit, and so has Beal the Seal. And it's just something that we enjoy video games so much that we just love talking about them. And sometimes we spend like hours just talking about them for like no reason. So we figured why not do a podcast and let other people know our opinions on games. So without further ado, I'll let Beal the Seal introduce himself further.
I'm Beal the Seal. And yeah, I love video games, and I feel like this is gonna be a really good opportunity for us to showcase that and put out a lot of content. Besides this podcast, we were thinking about streaming other stuff like Dota or StarCraft, and definitely putting out a lot of StarCraft content because it's kind of our main game, really into esports and stuff. And I think today we're gonna start off with talking about Valve's announcement. If you want to
Yeah.
talk a little bit about
So
that.
Valve's announcement, they were like, so they're teasing at three things. It's coming out tomorrow, which will be September the 23rd. So we're going to put up a VOD of this, just so future reference. And so this is kind of like close to it. And they're teasing three big things. Um, One of the things that they were teasing, I know that they were teasing a lot, was that Gabe Newell was talking a lot about Linux and like how he thinks Linux is kind of like the future of what gaming is. And Linux is like a definitely more, I wouldn't say like versatile platform, but definitely more open platform than what would be Windows. And it's definitely something that a non-software company, like I don't know. Like when like a company like that's gonna make their own like kind of software is of course not gonna use a Windows platform. They'll probably use like Android or Linux because they're more open. And so Gabe Newell was saying that they kind of want to bring Steam to the living room, and like what better way to do that than to kind of make your own console? And of course, what would your console be running? Probably like a modified Linux platform or something along the lines. So that's like one of the things that like I think everyone can kind of confirm that will probably happen. That will be announced tomorrow. But there's two other announcements, and speculation is that one of them might be a new game. It might be like another volume of a game they've already made, and another speculation is that with a new game and with a new platform, that it's going to have Source 2, their new, hopefully new engine, um, available for new games and stuff like that. So
So
yeah,
actually, I have the thing up on screen right now. The picture that they've shown. And it's just like a blue circle, and there's three like circles below it. And I mean, you've seen it, right? Where the first circle has a circle inside of it, and the next one kind of has brackets with a circle, and the last one has like a circle plus another circle.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what
A
do you
lot of
think about
yeah.
that?
A lot of people speculated that when you like kind of put all the symbols together, whatever, they kind of make like what would be reminiscent of a power button. And like again, like with them, like it would be kind of like it would make sense for them to release, a new console, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
have a new Source 2, right? To like utilize the console really well. And then have a new game running on Source 2. And it would bring like the whole like it would bring everything together. Like a new console, a new game, and a new engine to run the new game. And I think that might be what like I think everyone, kind of has, that on their minds. It'd be kind of weird if it was something different. Because like I mean, like I won't say Valve's really hinted at it, but I remember a while ago, I know they hired a bunch of people because they were looking for physical hardware. So like I think we can expect at least like a console coming out of some kind, like at the very least. I don't know about the other two, but like bringing Steam to the living room
Mm-hmm.
and definitely pushing Linux. I think we can basically confirm a Steam box, if you will. So
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the symbols and trying to interpret them myself, um, I think the first one's probably going to be either game or software, The next one has like little brackets inside of it, so I'm guessing that is going to be let's try to get this back up. I'm guessing that one is going to be how the system is going to work with Steambox, and the last one has a circle plus another circle, and I mean, I'm just guessing that's going to be the new source and the game that it's going to be released with. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I think like everyone's kind of looking at the game section, like side of the thing, and they're like, okay, what is the game going to be? If they like, like what could the game possibly be? And like a lot of people have speculation that it might be Half-Life 3, which I think might not be the best like
yeah.
thing to announce. Oh, we gotta go on break.
Yeah. Let's go on a
Let's
quick
go. Let's go
break.
on break. And we're back.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry about that. My video cut out a little bit. So yeah, closing thoughts on like Steam's or Valve's announcement, I guess tomorrow, would be like I think everyone can kind of confirm that there's probably gonna be at least the Steam box, hopefully a new game, and Source 2, because Source is really old as well. And so that like my predictions are definitely is definitely that. I don't think Half-Life 3 will be the game announced. I think it'll probably be something more along the lines of maybe a new IP, but definitely like something they don't care about as much. So maybe like a new Gary's mod or something to like utilize the new engine, something maybe like that. So like just to get people familiar with it first, or maybe like I don't know, like Left 4 Dead 3 or something like they don't obviously care about as much. Like you know how they like absolutely love like Team Fortress 2
Yeah.
and like Half-Life. Yeah, so I don't know. What are your opinions?
Um, I don't know. Like I was saying before, I think the first thing they're gonna announce is either something about the software or the game. Most likely the game. I mean, or yeah, probably the game, and then they're gonna talk about the Steam box, and then most likely I think it's gonna be Source too. Most likely.
All
I
right,
mean,
right on, right on.
I can't really see it being any other type of software. I mean, because they
Yeah.
kind of let them.
Um. Unless it's like a modified version of Steam. Actually,
Like Steam 2.0,
well,
maybe.
like or something specifically for what would be like new like small PCs for like media PCs for TVs. So like because maybe if they release the uh, the Steam box, they might release a modified version of Steam that's like an operating system itself, you know. So you like you put it on like what would be a media PC that you would have on your TV, and maybe you can play like small indie games or something on that, and like you can access your Steam store, or like, you're like very non-intensive games on
Hmm.
that. So you could have like a portable little Steam box everywhere you go. So like yeah, so maybe you don't have to buy Steam's version of it or Valve's version of Steam or the Steam box, but maybe you can buy like or make your own uh, Steam box. So maybe I don't know.
Yeah, actually, I really like that. I think that'd be a good idea if they
That'd
release
be
like
cool.
a do your own kind of Steam box.
Yeah, yeah, especially if they're
Yeah.
pushing Linux. Like maybe yeah, like I don't know. Like if you can put Linux on like any small computer or something
Hmm.
like that, maybe I don't know.
I could just see that being like really cool. Like, do you know Raspberry Pi?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like putting it on there or something, and like
Yeah, and
playing
I
like a
mean,
really
there's
low
like
intensive
definitely,
game.
yeah, there's definitely some games that can do that though. Like, 16-bit games, like very non-graphically intensive games, like Cave Story, I could probably run on Raspberry Pi no problem.
Hmm.
Um, it would just be, of course, like I don't know how they would like quality control that, because of course you're gonna have people who are gonna probably like if that was the case, they download it on their Raspberry Pi and be like, why can't I play Crisis? And it's like, well,
Yeah.
like obviously that's not like even though you can put it on there, you're not gonna be able to play it.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Whatever. On to video games.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
what are you playing?
All right. So this week, I the games I just beat Bioshock Infinite. I've been playing. I beat Offspring Fling, which is an indie game made by this one guy who's really cool. I'm playing Bleed, which is another indie game. And then I'm playing some StarCraft and some Dota. And yeah, that's what I'm playing. What are you playing?
I'm playing Rome 2 Total War. It came out on the 3rd, so it's been out for almost like 20 days now. Um, been playing StarCraft and Dota a lot. Besides that, I haven't really been playing too many other video games. But I was thinking about getting into Spelunky, that indie game.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
I've heard like okay, so I've heard a lot of stuff about that because like we were talking, of course, about like a Rogue Legacy a bunch,
yeah,
and I guess they don't. I wouldn't say they're like similar games, but they have like similar themes or something. So they're both like kind of like Actually, I take that back. They're both like I think they're randomly generated, right?
yeah. They're both randomly
They're
generated.
both randomly generated, and they're both kind of like platformers, like adventure games, kind of. Um, but I heard Splunky's like really difficult. Like I don't know too much about Splunky. Like so, what is it?
Basically, it's like randomly generated platformer, and it's less RPG and more like action adventure, and like you're like spelunking, like you're going down into a mine and stuff. But there's two versions. There's like best way to describe it's kind of like Super Meat Boy or In Meat Boy. Like you know how there was the kind of Flash that was like 8-bit, and then they
Yeah, yeah,
remade
yeah.
it, and it's actually like a pay
Hmm.
game where it's more like refined.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like they have the two versions. So
Oh.
yeah, I'm still trying to look that up and see if the paid version's like that much better, where I should just buy it, or if I should
Wait,
just
so
go
wait,
for the free.
you've been playing Splunky, or
No,
you
no,
want
no.
to
I
play
just been
Splunky?
looking it up. I just looking for
Okay.
reviews.
I've heard like really mixed things about that game. Like I heard a lot of people like absolutely love Splunky.
Hmm.
Like it's like tons of fun. But then I've heard other people say it's like almost unfair sometimes. Like I heard it's difficult. Like I heard it's hard, or it's unforgiving, or something along the lines of
Yeah,
that. So I'm not too
it looks
sure.
really cool. So, Bioshock Infinite. Tell me
Okay,
what's the situation.
Bioshock Infinite. So I'm a little late to the party. I'm a patient gamer, so because I have like a huge Steam catalog of like backlogged games that I just need to play. I never have to buy a game the day it comes out because like if a game comes out and it's like something like I just bought Tomb Raider and stuff like that and Hitman Absolution. Like if a new game comes out, I can just be like, oh well, I'll just play those games. Like right, like if I want to play like a new AAA title, I'll just go play games I already have. So I finally got around to playing Bioshock Infinite. And my general thoughts, like I've thought this over for a long time. And my general thoughts is that I give it like a 9 out of 10. It was a great game. Obviously there was I think all of the flaws were probably within gameplay.
Hmm.
Um, one or two things could have been explained a little bit better in the plot. So the storytelling was of course superb, but like it wasn't perfect because there was a couple things that I think they should have emphasized a little bit more. I don't know if I should really spoil this. Um, yeah, I'll spoil it. Fuck it, I don't care. Um, the ending, of course, is a little confusing because of like the quantum leaps and stuff like that or
Hmm.
whatever. And like I think they should have emphasized like certain parts that I think you might have like because like it's at the end of the game and you're like holy crap I beat it like you're all excited and stuff like that and you might not be paying attention to like every little single detail they give you and I think that's like where they kind of I think that's their fault because I love the story and I thought the story was amazing but the fact that they couldn't well I wouldn't say I'm the best at like figuring things out, like the best at catching every little detail, but I'm pretty good at it. And for someone who might be better than most people at catching every single detail, I was still a little lost at the end. Like I understood like the whole general theme and like I got the ending, but there were like a couple big plot holes that they did fill, but were really hard to catch. And I had to go digging afterwards to find out like what they were. So, yeah, I guess my biggest gripes with it are its gameplay.
Yeah.
If you've played any of the other Bioshocks, you basically literally played Infinite. Like their gameplays between like the games are all basically the same, and like it's not broken. But like the first time, so when I played Bioshock One, I got like really bored of the gameplay. Like killing Splicer after Splicer got like really annoying. I don't know. And like same thing with Bioshock 2, it was literally the same gameplay. And I think the problem with the games is they give you this like rich immersive world and this beautiful storyline that you get to follow, and that's the only thing keeping you going, right?
Yeah.
Because if the game was based solely off of gameplay, you probably wouldn't actually be playing it. You'd say, okay, this is fun, and then like 3 hours later, you'd be like, all right, it's like the same thing. Um, and I don't know. There's nothing wrong with like a game with like a story that beautiful suffering a little bit in one area because I mean of course a game can't be perfect but the gameplay like I feel like they should have been easily able to improve since it's been so long since they've made Bioshock 1 like like the same mechanics were there too. So like the first game you had your gun in your right hand and your was it vigor
Yeah,
in Bioshock One?
yeah.
What's
Yep.
it? Wait, what is it called in Bioshock Infinite?
Wait, is it plasmids or vigor?
Plasmids. So it's
Yeah.
plasmids in Bioshock One. And you're like, okay, cool. So I have like a casting ability and a shooting ability, right? But then they kept that kind of same, and I'm going to use the term gimmick, right? I found myself, I think you said this as well, where like the only time I used my vigors was when I remembered I had them. Other than that, I would literally use like the pistol and the carbine through the entire game, and they work just fine. And then it doesn't help that Elizabeth keeps throwing you ammo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I could literally just use the handgun and the rifle the entire time because I basically had unlimited ammo. Now, if they made it so that you didn't have unlimited ammo, where Elizabeth didn't throw you weapons and stuff, then of course like you'd have to experiment with new guns. But I was like, why should I upgrade like the Hellfire? Or why should I upgrade the shotgun or the repeater when I don't use them? So that's like one of the biggest gripes I have with gameplay. Like the gameplay is definitely not risky, right? And I think that's kind of a problem. Like I guess they decided to play it risky with the story, and they tried to play it safe with the gameplay because I think maybe they thought if they tried it too risky with both, it might turn off a lot of recreational gamers.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, I don't know. Overall, like I guess long story short, the gameplay of the game was not phenomenal. It was pretty mediocre, and the story and the world and the plot and the dialogue and that was all amazing. So yeah, I gave the game like a 9 out of 10 because even though the gameplay was terrible, uh, I still wanted to play the game, and I still had a really fun time playing it, and it was really, really good. So, yeah, that's my general thoughts on Bioshock Infinite.
See, I don't know if I would go with the 9 out of 10. Like, I love the story, and the game is just, I love it so much. But
Would you give it a 10 out of 10 or like an
no,
8
no,
out of
like an eight. Like
10?
the
Okay.
gameplay really brought it down. Like you were saying, like I used the same two weapons,
Yeah.
and then the only plasmid I used was the fire one because fully upgraded, it was like the best one, and there was no point of using the other ones.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing, like I'm still like, I think what they should have done better, the lock picking mechanic of the game. What did you think of that? First, tell
Um,
me that.
I kind of liked it a little bit because it really made you choose what you wanted to get because you couldn't get everything. Like
Okay.
I did have enough lock picks, so I had to like keep going and I had to miss stuff.
So I explored like the whole game, right? And I had that problem with the first like few locks you ran into, right? Like you would barely have enough locks. Like you'd have to search the level over again to find an extra lock to unlock the door or something or the chest. But at the end of the game, I shit you not, I had 25 lockpicks, and I was like, all right, I better not be close to the end of the game because I had 25 lockpicks. I was like, I bet there's gonna be tons of other doors to unlock. Little did I know I was on like the final Zeppelin ride to the end of the game, and I didn't know that. So I'm like, okay, where's all the treasures? And I was like, oh, that's really lame. Especially because like, I think in some of those locked doors, there's those audio, like I think what are they called, like voxophones or something
Yeah,
like.
voxophones.
And those are crucial for understanding the fucking plot. I'll tell you what.
Mhm.
Like some of them tell you secrets. I found that out. So I was listening to one. Like I went into the basement of this one place, right? And I listened to the dude's voxophone, and he was like, okay, he was like saying something, saying something. He's like, yeah, and that hidden room they have in the bar with like the button under the cash register. So I go back to like this bar, there's a button under the cash register, and you press that, and it opens the door to an area that you couldn't get in normally. And then inside of there's like an infusion and like some like silver eagles and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, like, I mean that voxophone wasn't obviously like you didn't have to lockpick to get to it, but like still, like those voxophones are like really really important sometimes. Especially to understanding the story, and I didn't like how they kind of kept that from you. Like I wish they would have all been really easy to find. So
What'd you think about the theme? How it basically took the first two Bioshocks and like basically did the reverse theme of them, like, uh,
okay,
yeah, like politically, I guess. I would say.
yeah, yeah. So I really like that. So I remember before I had even played the game, it was like when the game came out, someone's like, "Well, I just discovered this." Like I think it's like the first two games are freedom from religion. I guess essentially what it is because it's like scientists or like and stuff and like aren't like subjected to morality and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have anything restricting you essentially. And then you look at Infinite where it's like freedom. Um, wait, what is it? Freedom. Wait. What's this? Goddamn. What's this theme for Bioshock Infinite? Freedom, like with religion, I guess it is. Freedom through religion.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it is. Freedom through religion. I got you. I got you. So yeah, freedom from religion and freedom through religion. Um, I real okay. Actually, I did want to talk about this for a little. So when you start off the game and you're fucking playing it, right? You start off in this world and like you get to that, you get like baptized and you go through like the chute and you come out and there's like Ben Franklin and like I think like Thomas Jefferson and George Washington all there, and they're like the idols, like the gods, like whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
they're like important stuff like that, and you've got this like really cool world, like whoa, I'm in like like everyone like loves the founders here. It's Columbia, District of Columbia, kind of like the main city here, and you've got like all these like very conservative viewpoints, like not like like obviously nowadays conservative viewpoints, but like literally like
Like
18 or
1900s.
1700s conservatives, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got like there's racism in the game. I don't really know if there's like sexism or anything like that, but there's obviously these older themes there that exist, and I liked it because the game first started off as I was saying, and you've got like this cool like weird like vibe. I don't know. I guess you're getting from the game because you're surrounded by all these cool like relics and like it just seems like you're in like this different world. And then I feel like as the game all goes on, it puts less emphasis on that kind of stuff. Like I don't know because like you start off and there's like all these like president things and like all this crazy cool stuff, and then like as the game goes on, it just sort of kind of like like I don't know. It gets like rid of that kind of stuff. I don't know how to articulate it any better. Like it just puts less emphasis on it. And I don't know. Like maybe that was just to set up the plot, but I wish I would have seen more of it. I don't know. What would you think?
I liked it, and I mean they did bring into the plot a lot. I feel like they touched on it just enough because it's one of those things like you don't see it in the story, you see it kind of like through the environment.
Yeah, okay, no, I agree with that. Yeah.
Like it had the same a feel that that Rapture did. Like you really had a sense of the world around you, like through just exploring and like voxophones and just hearing dialogue.
Okay. So another thing I want to talk about the game is, and it's one thing. Okay, so like I love it when like a game is linear. Like I love playing a linear game because then you experience the story that someone intended you to experience, right? And like in Bioshock Infinite's case, it's a wonderful story. Like I enjoyed it. You said you really enjoyed it, and I love that kind of feeling because I hate games where they really have a strong story, but you can kind of veer from that path a little and maybe not experience the full story. Maybe they intended you to go by this one area that maybe had some sort of like audio file or some image or something that you need to look at. And the beautiful thing about like Bioshock Infinite is you hit like you don't like really miss a thing except for some of those audio files that are really important. And the thing I love about it is because it's so linear, they do give you some little places you can go explore, and they're super obvious, and I love that. So you obviously know when that's kind of an area that's optional that you can explore, and I really like that because um making it like really obvious is kind of cool because like obviously, if you just kind of want to get the game done quickly, you can just avoid it. You can just go, okay, I don't
Mm-hmm.
really want to go over there and search. But like, if you just want to like experience the game, if you like the game more, then you can easily just go over there and like explore and stuff like that. And there's going to be something there because they intended it to be. Like obviously in Skyrim, you can explore all over the place, and some places might not have something because it's an open RPG. But when you have like these nice linear games, I feel like exploring in them is almost sometimes more rewarding because like there's always intended stuff in places that you can get and aren't part of the main storyline. So I really like that about Bioshock Infinite because I actually really enjoy linear storylines.
So like you were talking about the Vox phones being kind of like that's the one thing you had to go look for.
Yeah.
Like from a game design, how'd you feel about the keys, like the keys and the infusions, like actually driving the player to kind of accidentally find those, and like
Okay,
and take
so
the one part and actually make it more linear.
Yeah. So I don't really like um the lockpick in the infusions. Um I don't know what it is about it, but it feels so wrong because like when you're playing an RPG, of course, oh, there's my vitality. I put it up with points from leveling up. And like in any other game, like I don't want to like say it, but like Call of Duty's campaign is like a really good example of what just a linear game is, right? And whether or not you like them or you thought it was a good story, maybe like you loved Call of Duty 4s, like I really enjoyed that. You can just play the game the entire way through as just a base character, right? You don't level up, you don't get like anything special, and that's kind of something I wish Bioshock Infinite had, because I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but they try to put like RPG elements into the game, right? Sort of like upgrade your guns, upgrade your plasmids, like kind of just essentially upgrades. And I kind of wish that they maybe didn't do that and just kind of made the game. I know, of course, it's not like a competitive game, but made the balance a little bit better. Maybe made enemies like a certain enemy always the same easiness to kill throughout the game. Maybe add like a little bit of a tougher enemy, and of course they're going to be tougher because there's no way you can have a better like your weapon can get better and stuff like that. So like I don't know. I don't really like infusions, but like as you're saying for exploration, um, so like if they balance the game a bit better because like as we were saying before like early game, sorry, in the beginning of the game, you can't really find all the lockpicks, or it's extremely hard to, and that's kind of frustrating because if you can't open a door and you have to go by that area, you basically can't get back to that area in some cases, and that really sucks because maybe there was a voxophone there, maybe there was something else there that you could have gotten, maybe like gear, or so maybe there was just an Easter egg there, maybe there was a poster on the wall, and that really sucks. And so maybe I wish they would have made like maybe the zones better for like maybe easier to find lockpicks or something like that, or maybe less lockpicks for every door, just so that like you can experience everything you want to experience, right? Because I like explored every like inch of that game basically, or as much as I obviously knew, and maybe like I don't know if I missed something, maybe they should have made it more obvious because in my opinion you're not going to go back and play Bioshock Infinite a second time right off the bat. It is a story-based game and its replay value is not in its gameplay, so once you already understand the story there's really no reason to play the game again.
Hmm.
So I guess I mean like, that kind of goes off on a tangent about gameplay versus story, but um yeah, that's what I thought about infusions and stuff. So I don't know. What do you
Yeah,
think
I
about
mean,
them?
I agree. I agree. Like the RPG element didn't need to be there. Um, like you were saying before, like playing it safe. I definitely think they played it safe and just made it
Mm,
like all the other Bioshocks.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
yeah.
like I actually remember in an interview with the guy who made or with not the guy who made it, but um some like lead person in the BioShock team. And I think BioShock 1 and 2 had very iconic cover art because they were the Big Daddy and stuff like
Hmm.
that. I'm like, whoa, what is this game? And he was saying, I think there was like some sort of big outcry, I can't remember when they released Bioshock Infinite's cover, and it was Booker DeWitt holding a gun, and that's like the biggest stereotype. Like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Medal of Honor, every single cover is a guy holding a gun, and everyone was so angry at him, so angry. And he said, "You know what, guys?" He's like, we had to play it safe. We had to, because in order to make money, because we have to make money. In order to make money, to show you this beautiful game, this beautiful story, instead of cutting back part of the story or part of the game itself, we're going to cut back on what like our creativeness is on the cover, because the cover sells the game. Because you're not gonna when you're obviously in some like stores, right, the games are locked away, you can't pick them up and look at the front and back, right? So you only get to see the cover of the game, and it's like that. It's like we have to play it safe there, because while like we kind of maybe we did something risky with the story and the gameplay and stuff, we need to sell the game in order for like everyone to experience this, and in order for us to make money, so that we can continue to make games like this and continue to make DLC like Burial at Sea for Bioshock Infinite. And like I understand that a lot, but I don't really agree with playing it safe with core features of the game. So like yeah, I guess that's like I mean that might have been one of the reasons because he said we are playing it safe, so maybe that did lead on to the gameplay. So
So I mean, like going back to what you said about the cover art, um, I kind of thought it was alright that they did that because the Big Daddy, of course, was like the main icon of
uh-huh.
Bioshock, like 1 and 2. But with Bioshock Infinite, what are they called?
Uh, Handyman's.
Exactly. That's the thing, though.
Handyman's.
That's exactly what I'm talking
It's a
about.
handyman. I know what it
Yeah,
is.
like
Yeah.
it's not a. They're not like iconic really to the game. So, and the only time you actually see Booker, I think, is on the cover. I don't think you
Yeah.
see him anywhere else.
Oh, that's a good point.
So I
I
think it
remember
was
talking about
kind
that.
of a good idea that they did that.
I don't. Is there ever a point in time you see Booker in the game?
Nope. There's
Because like
no
okay, so
time.
I know at the end when you're walking through like the different lighthouses and you look over and you see an alternate reality where
Oh
there's a
yeah, you
Booker and
kind of
Elizabeth,
see yourself
but
there.
it's not zoomed in, like you can't obviously tell.
Hmm.
And so that is something I do like. But like the media like you kind of have up now and like the little media box on our stream, like that would be such a sick cover for cover art. Like
Yeah, that would be.
but like of course like I am the hardcore gamer, right? So like that kind of stuff makes me happy. But like obviously like a 12-year-old who's like super into Call of Duty is probably be like, eh, I don't want to play this. So, like, but that's so cool because like you have like Bioshock Infinite, of course. Like of course you'd like rearrange that a little, but you have like the cool city of Columbia in the background, and then you obviously have the story right there. You have Booker like chasing Elizabeth or something like that, or trying to get to Elizabeth. So like I don't know. I mean I can't complain because I'm playing the game digitally on Steam, so I don't have a physical copy of it, which I really wish I did because like it's one of those that's one of those games where I'd want to be like kind of keep, and then maybe like in like 15 years I'll be like, oh, my Xbox 360, what games do I have, and like play Bioshock Infinite because I like had forgotten the story by then, but I don't know. It's a it's a good game. I
Yeah,
liked it.
I thought it was good. Do you think that they would do a Bioshock Infinite 2 like in the future, or do you think they're gonna go like somewhere else?
Ooh,
I mean, it's
the
really
Bio.
hard to say because with the first one, obviously, it was in Rapture and you were a
Uh
guy,
huh.
and then the second one's like, oh yeah, you're a big daddy this time. So, I mean, even that is kind of a step in like a weird direction,
Uh
and
huh.
like this is like, oh, like almost nothing connects to the first game except like this one little tiny thing.
Yeah, so like I'm really happy it didn't connect to the second game actually. I don't know why, but like I was just really happy that it just didn't. Um, I felt like it could be a little bit more original that way instead of tied to another game. Like you have this link that you have to obey or whatever. And so I love there's a lot like I have really mixed feelings about BioShock games in general because like when I played BioShock 1, well okay, so first off, I liked BioShock 2's gameplay no, I liked Bioshock Infinite's gameplay more than any other Bioshock's game, but I didn't like love it. I was like, oh, this is good gameplay. Of course, I said it was pretty bad. And I really hated Bioshock One's gameplay. Like it was bad. Like it was a struggle to get through that game. But the game was so beautiful. Like the only reason I was playing that game was like for the story. And I don't know, like a new Bioshock game would be I don't know because like the way you look at it is you have like so you have Rapture underwater, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have Columbia in the sky. Where else could you take it?
Space.
Bioshock Space Station.
There's always a
Actually,
man in a
that's not a bad
suit.
idea. No, like a Jetsons themed. Oh my gosh! Not like
No.
not like no, but that's like in the sky. I know that. But
Yeah.
like having like super like everything's like sleek and chrome and like
Oh,
everything's like
like oh, I got it. I got it. It's like all right. So
sorry.
like you know the Vision of the Future from the 50s, how everything's like chrome.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That would actually okay. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like you're like a space station off on like the moon or something or like a Mars. Um, I don't even know what the original question is. I'm going on a tangent.
Like where
Um.
where's the game going? Yeah.
Oh, right. I was going somewhere
I
with
do
that.
like the DLC, like the idea of that, where it's like because of the rips in time and like all these timelines, they can be very like they can kind of go anywhere with it. So I do like
Yeah.
that.
So that they could definitely do something like for a Bioshock Infinite 2, where they kind of they follow the trend of Bioshock 2, right? Where they have the same world, they have the same Columbia, but they put a different take on it, like a different spin on it. And I really enjoyed Columbia. I thought Columbia was so well done. The atmosphere was beautiful. Everything about, and I wanted more. Like I felt myself wanting more of knowing about Columbia, because like the only thing you only knew a couple things about why Columbia was built, like or how it was built. You
Hmm.
found out like the balloons were filled with like quantum particles made by the Lutesses or whatever, and that's like it. Like why did Comstock make it? Like and how did he make it? How did he get the money? And so it's kind of cool. Like maybe it'd be cool to have maybe like a prequel to what would be Bioshock Infinite, but like a Bioshock Infinite 2 kind of thing, where maybe you're like an original person in Colombia when Colombia first started or something. But like as for a Bioshock 3, or if they even continue Bioshock, I think that's another good question because like I feel like Bioshock has been, besides two wasn't a bad game, but it wasn't like a great game. It wasn't nearly as
It
good
was
as
very
First or
average.
Infinite. Yeah. Um, the games are pretty amazing, right? They have solid scores. Like maybe they should just kind of stop while they're ahead, you know? Like we made some great BioShock games. Um, let's let everyone enjoy them for what they are, and maybe they'll just go on to do something else. Maybe System Shock. They'll revitalize that franchise or whatever. Um, so I don't know. Like the future of Bioshock's kind of weird because I don't think. Well, I actually remember when Bioshock Infinite was announced, which was like a
Like,
amazingly long time
yeah,
ago.
it was like 2 or 3 years
And
ago.
it was and it was the reason I actually bought Bioshock 1 and 2. I bought them on the same day because I thought Bioshock Infinite looked amazing. And like I don't know if anyone even had an idea that Bioshock Infinite was going to be made. Like I don't think anyone after Bioshock 1 and 2 was like, "Wow, I bet they'll make one in the sky this time," right? Like I don't think anyone did that. So, um I don't know. I don't know where the franchise could possibly go. So, uh actually, can we take a break?
Yeah,
Small, like a short, like really
yeah, we'll
small
take a
break.
short break.
All right, cool. Thanks. We're back.
Yep, we're back.
Okay, cool. We're back. Okay, so I guess we're
Yeah,
done talking
we're
about
back.
Bioshock Infinite because we probably bored you all to hell with that. Probably not. No, we're amazing. That's like the main like AAA title I've been playing this week. And you said you were playing Rome Total War, right? Or Rome 2 Total War, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Been playing a
So
lot of that.
I have never played a Total War game ever. The only game like it I've played, which probably isn't, is Civilization 5. Explain to me what Rome Total. Okay, so I want to know what is Rome 2 Total War. Like, I understand kind of like what it is, but also explain to me like what game is most similar. Or what is it most similar to?
Okay,
Like that kind of stuff.
so let me think about this. It's very similar to the Civ. Yeah,
It's actually similar to Civ.
yeah, but it's more like there's more than just Civ. So it's like Civ except you get to fight battles as well.
Okay, so I heard that. Okay, so I have heard that where you fight the individual battles, but I heard those battles are already calculated. Like there's already going to be a calculated winner from the outcome or something like that.
Um,
Like there's no strategicness of the battle. It just kind of happens.
no,
Is that true?
no,
That's not true.
no. That is
Oh
actually
shit.
like not true at all. All
Oh
right, so
shit.
there is
Okay.
like there is like a calculation like who might win because of certain circumstances like where you're fighting, what
Uh-huh.
soldiers you have, how much experience they have. But it's not like you can do an auto resolve, and when you auto resolve, you can choose like three. Like you can choose aggressive, um, protective, and balanced, and those are three fighting styles just for the auto resolve. But the battles themselves, like say if
Uh-huh.
it's like you have almost no chance of winning, like you have a little tiny bar where it's like okay, you're probably gonna lose if you auto resolve this. So you go into the actual thing, and like you just position your guys perfectly, and like you go up onto a hill and you position them perfectly, and like so the enemy's fighting uphill and you just hold and like you kill him, and it's like a heroic victory. Like it can happen. That's why I really like it
Oh,
because
okay.
you can just if you're a good player at it, you can like just pull off these crazy things.
Okay. One other thing I want to talk about for that is okay. So like Civ 5, yeah, you have it.
Mm-hmm.
When you start up Civ 5, there's no like campaign, there's no nothing. It's just the game is like it's gameplay, right? So you just play like versus bots, and you make your like city or whatever and stuff like that. But like, is there like a campaign mode of what would be like Rome 2 Total War? Like, do you start off like I don't know, like in like Rome and then go
Um,
expand and
all right,
there's
all right.
like
So
the
this is how it
campaign?
works. It's kind of like Civ, except with Civilization. You know how you pick where you go, like where you can make cities.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like you can
yeah.
found cities. Well, the map is actually like, or for this one, it's Europe, um, Europe, I think it might cut into Asia a little bit. The Middle East, not all of it, but some of it, and then some of Northern Africa.
Okay.
And you select like one of, honestly, I don't know how many, but there is so many different like factions, and it takes place um, BC. I'm trying to think of when it is. It might be 500 BC. Yeah, it's probably 500 BC. But you start,
500
yeah,
BC.
you start in 500 BC, and you get to pick from like Rome. You can pick Carthage.
Okay.
Well, like you pick Rome, Carthage are the two biggest ones you can choose. And there's a whole bunch of smaller ones. Like, there's a few Germanic tribes which have like one city, and they're in like England. And also like the DLC came out already. Like it was day one DLC, which I don't want to talk about that yet.
Our
We're not gonna talk
favorite. Our
about day one
favorite.
DLC. But if you
Okay.
pre-ordered it, you got it for free, and it's
Oh
Greek
yes, my
states.
favorite.
And it's
Okay.
Greek states. It's like 3 Greek states, and
Like
you just,
Sparta,
yeah, Sparta, Athens, and Macedonia.
the Trojans.
No,
No.
Macedonia.
Okay.
Troy's like this far away.
Gee, I don't know. I don't know. I don't play those
Okay,
kind of games.
okay.
Okay.
So it's
So wait.
those
So like,
three.
I'm assuming like each one, like each individual faction has like its own like specialties, right?
Yeah, it has its own
Like
specialties, and not only can you choose your faction, but sometimes like for Roman Carthage, you can choose what like era it is. So like you can do Caesar, or I think it's Augustus Caesar. Yeah, it's
uh-huh.
Augustus Caesar, and there's like two other rulers that you could play under them, and they have their own special abilities within like Rome's special abilities.
Okay. Another question I want to ask. Everyone knows Civ 5 takes like 10 years to beat, right?
Yeah.
How okay, so if I wanted to like start up like say for example like a map of Rome to Total War. So I'm really ignorant of this whole game. And I wanted to play for or sorry, I wanted to like just like play I don't know anything about this game. Say I wanted to play for like 5 hours straight. How much would that progress me into the game?
Um,
Would I be
I mean, it varies to be honest,
Okay, okay,
but
so it does
but for
vary.
the most part, it's a game where it's gonna take a very very long time to beat. It's gonna take like a
Uh
real, and like there's no quick version like Civ, but it's not a bad thing because every time you go on, you kind of have a different goal. So like when you first go on, it's like, yeah, I just want to set up my stuff, get up maybe an army, start researching some basic tech, and then it's like, oh, I captured all these things, everyone's unhappy, so let me take this time to focus on making everyone happy and getting my empire in order. So
so I assume
it's not the
oh
same thing
sorry.
over and over.
Okay. So like I guess like if you really enjoy the gameplay, which is like essentially the whole game, I'm sure you just like love the game then, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's
okay.
not really a story based game because like Civ, it's kind of like
Yeah,
you
it's
kind of make
completely
it,
gameplay.
like you
Yeah.
make it what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. You are part of the story when
Yeah.
people like invade you. Okay. All right.
Overall, I mean, it's a really good game. There's a few things like Total War has a problem where sometimes the AI is kind of stupid, and like on normal they'll make really stupid decisions, like attack you with like one soldier,
Mhm.
or and so if you kick it up to hard, then you'll play, and then every time you fight like a real battle, they'll just be just insanely hard and just completely
Uh,
destroy you.
that
So
kind of
so
sucks.
the AI is kind of like rolling the dice, but I mean with Rome 2, it's probably the best AI. They had a really big problem on launch with AI, but
Oh, I did hear of that.
they
They had like
patched it.
a
I'm pretty
they
sure
had
they
a big
patched it.
patch.
I haven't had a really big issue with really stupid AI
Okay,
lately.
so tell me about okay, so like I've never played a Total War game. Um, how long ago was it when they made Rome 1? I
Rome
heard
One.
I remember it from like my childhood, so I think it's probably around like 10 years, maybe more, right?
Honestly, that was the first game that they came out with. Yeah, it came out.
Okay.
Oh, it came out like a super long time ago. 2004.
Okay, so basically, yeah, so like almost 10 years ago. Okay.
And actually,
Um,
wait. Before I say something, or before you say something, I just want to add um, this really cool thing about Rome, like the first one. Like it was
uh-huh.
such an innovative game at the time. Like the realism was like incredible.
I
That the
remember
History
watching the
Channel,
sieges of that game.
like the History Channel, like whenever they represent like an old ancient battle, they would use Rome to like show it. Like it got me
It's
so
actually
like that's the
hilarious.
first time I actually saw the game.
Okay, and then okay, I want to talk about other Total War games. I know there's like Total War Shogun battles,
Yeah,
right?
there's Shogun and
Wh-
Shogun 2.
Well, okay, so I'm guessing those were the most recent besides Rome, right? There's Rome 2 besides
No,
Rome
they
2.
kind of
Oh, really?
they went back and forth. They did Rome. I'm not really sure about the order, but they did Rome, Medieval, Shogun, and then they did Medieval 2, Shogun 2, Rome 2.
Oh, I think
And oh, they also did Empire. Yeah, they also did Empire.
okay. I remember medieval from my childhood because like my friend, I'd go to his house and they had like two computers back then because they were ballers and one like they were two good computers. So like we would go in there and like someone else would be like on the computer playing like medieval Total War and stuff, and we'd go to
Hmm.
the other computer and play like really bad addicting games. Addicting games. Um, okay, I got you. I'm
Yeah,
probably never gonna play a Total War game. I don't know.
yeah. It's definitely like only for a certain type of people, but there's an RTS like element to it, and so that's why I like it.
Oh, RTS.
Yeah, but it's
Okay.
also like grand strategy. So yeah, like Civ.
Okay.
But it's a really good game. Um, as far as innovation wise, well, it's a beautiful game. Like if you like, it's really hard to max out just because it's so intensive.
Oh,
Um,
because there's so many things on
yeah, there's
screen.
so many things, but let's just say like you could max it out. It would look very realistic, and like every soldier like fights each other. Like it's not like everyone just like swings at the same time. It's like every individual soldier has their own like little move set.
So it's not like RuneScape where they're just like
Yeah,
mm.
it's like they actually battle. Like
Okay, that's
it's
pretty cool.
it's actually really incredible to watch. And what I do like is it really like so like in the beginning there's no like crazy like siege battles and stuff because everyone just has like normal towns. So as time goes on and people like research and get better and start building better like cities and more fortified cities, then you start having intense things.
Okay.
So
Alright,
like you
alright.
start super basic, but over time like it gets more and more intense.
Okay. Cool
So like
stuff.
like for Civ, it kind of stays the same. You just get kind of cooler things, but everyone else does too.
Uh
So
huh.
it's still the same thing. Like
Essentially, yeah.
yeah,
Like
like even though it's like
relatively,
yeah,
like
relatively
compared to
everything's
people,
still
it's
like the same
the
how it
same. Hmm.
works. But with Rome 2, things change on like how the battles go and how
Okay.
diplomacy's actually really amazing in that game.
Oh, not like shitty Civ 5 one where you're like, you want
Yeah.
to make an alliance? Nope. Okay.
And it was like if you want to make an alliance, someone would just break it. But in this game, it's like a really big deal to break an alliance.
Okay.
Like, well, one, everyone will hate you, and like a good thing that the AI does is they won't just break an alliance just to. Like, they have to break an alliance for a reason. Like, they can't just arbitrarily do
Oh.
it.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. I got you. Okay.
And also, there was like a really big problem. Well, I mean, it wasn't a problem. It was just kind of something stupid in Empire Total War. It was like the whole Earth, like the entire Earth, which was really cool. Um, and what you would do is you would take a ship and you would sail around until you saw like every civilization, and then you would
Uh
just
huh.
trade with them. But like everyone just wanted to trade with each other. There was like no downside to it. But in this,
Uh.
it's kind of a big deal. Like the first like diplomatic action you take with someone is actually setting up trades, and so if someone like doesn't like you a lot, they won't trade with you.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
So general consensus on the game. Like, if you had to rate it,
if I had
like,
to rate it,
what are its strongest points? Like, if you were to try to sell it to someone, say like the three biggest things, and then like if you were to like give the bad sides, like what are the things that
okay,
like
so
really hurt it the most?
the battles are really good,
Uh huh.
but it does take a little bit to get to the really epic battles. But
Okay.
but still, it's a really good like gameplay wise. How the battles work, you can pull off some really like crazy things if you know how the game works, and you can play it right. You can pull off some really crazy things. Um, I really like the diplomacy. It's very like revamped. I would say, not really revamped, but they definitely made it a lot better than the last game, which was Shogun 2. Um, yeah, diplomacy is actually pretty deep, and like alliances that start early, like will evolve. like as everyone else is growing. So that's another strong point. Visually, the game is incredible. Like,
Hmm. Yeah.
it's like I can't really describe it. Like having these like hundreds and hundreds of soldiers battling each other and having it like everyone is an individual is
Wait,
pretty
wait.
crazy.
Quick question. Off the top of your head, if you know, what is or what's the amount of memory it takes up? Like how many gigabytes?
It's actually huge.
I
Like it's
that's what I was gonna ask.
gigantic. It's
Is it
like
wait? Isn't it over
huge.
20?
I think it's actually huge. Like
So it's not something you could easily put on a computer, or not a computer, a laptop,
um
or it's not
you
something you really
can
want to.
like not Ubuntu. Like definitely not. It's a humongous game actually.
Yeah,
I'm not sure on how big it is actually.
I don't know if that was the game I heard about, but I know that there was a game where there was like it was a game coming out, and it was like something ridiculously large. I think it might have been even bigger. I think it was something like 50 gigabytes or something, but I could be talking at my ass, so I'm not like too sure.
Honestly, it might be like 50 gigabytes or something. Like it's actually like people were actually kind of complaining on. No, right here, 35 gigabytes.
What?
That's
I think that was the
huge.
game that's enormous.
That's actually
Okay.
like a humongous. Like I have a terabyte, so
Uh huh.
it's
So
not
it's not too
as big
bad.
of a deal, but it's still
Yeah.
a really really big file.
So you're saying that wouldn't be able to fit on Raspberry Pi Steam box?
No.
All right.
But yeah.
Uh.
Alright, so negative points about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell me like your biggest gripes.
Alright, sometimes the AI can be kind of stupid.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I said,
yeah.
getting to the really epic stuff does take time, so there's patience. So you can't just jump in it and expect to have like a really epic kind of thing going on. But yeah, it's definitely for someone who's patient and like actually takes it the whole way. Besides that, I really like I really hate the day one DLC, especially since it was
Yeah,
such a good DLC to have.
that
Like it
sucks.
actually like I have a really big problem with day one DLC. Like
I th
why wouldn't
I
you
think
just put it in there? Like I
I think
understand like
everyone
they want to
does.
get people to like, oh, I have to pre-order this or else I'm gonna have to pay this money for it.
Yeah, because like I know for a day one DLC of console games, a lot of developers are doing that now as a sort of anti-piracy device, where it's like if you were to steal it for like say the console, right?
Yeah.
You would not be able to get the day one DLC because the DLC requires you to have like an Xbox Live connection and to purchase it off of the Xbox Live store, right? And that's something you definitely can't pirate because like you can't get the physical data of that game. So I know that's like an anti-piracy measure sometimes for console games, but why would they do that for like a PC game? Because couldn't someone just pirate the DLC then if they really wanted to?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like
yeah, because they do that, but I think it takes a little bit more time.
so that really sucks. Um, so overall, what would you give it if you had to rate the game?
Overall,
Yeah.
I'd say like an 8.5, 9 out of 10. It's a really
Okay.
solid game. Yeah, it's solid.
Cool. Cool. If I'm ever with someone and they're playing the game, I'll watch, but I'll probably never buy it. Um, on to indie games or whatever else we're playing.
Uh, yeah.
Or
Let's
do
go
you
into
want
indie
to talk
games.
anymore? Okay. Um, so like I'm trying to do this thing because like I have this huge backlog catalog of games where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to like split it up. I'm gonna try to play like at least like I'm gonna try to be at least playing like two indie games at once, and then like one AAA title or one like more well-known game. And so for like this week, it was Blade and Offspring Fling, and then Bioshock Infinite. So Offspring Fling's a really fun game. I got it in a humble bundle. I think it's $7 for regular price, and it's made by one guy. I think it's Kyle Pulver or whatever, or I think he was like the lead developer or something of it. But it was definitely an indie game, like a small crew, because I don't know if he did all the music and art for it, because that would be insane if he did. Especially like the music. And so it's a really fun puzzle game where it actually has like a little bit of a plot, and it's about like throwing your little children like around. Like I don't, it's hard to explain, but like you try to get your children like out of the level. You're a little. Oh, I should have clarified. You're like a little Pikachu creature, so you're not like literally throwing babies. You're throwing like little Pikachu's. Like that's I guess the best way to think of it. And it's like you solve puzzles and stuff with them. Like there's switches and stuff. It's like a little platformer as well, and it has really tight controls. I absolutely loved it. The music was amazing. Like the music was actually like amazing. Like I loved the music for that game. And the puzzles were the perfect blend of difficulty because I figured out every puzzle by myself, so I didn't ever have to look for a guide. And at most, the puzzles took me like 7 minutes to figure out, and some I beat on my first try. So like the game is like the perfect casual like indie game to play in my opinion, because it's got like it's got challenge, it's got like beautiful visuals, beautiful music. It's got like a little like Mario-esque plot where it's like a single problem and you go to solve it. Like your children were scattered and that's kind of why you're going and saving them. And there's like a little boss fight at the end. So overall, I thought it was like a really really like good game. You might have got it in a Humble Bundle and just never played it or something like that. Or you can buy it from I think Kyle Pulver's website or like offspringflame.com. You can buy it directly for him for I think $7 and it's also available on Steam. So I highly recommend that game. For like anyone really. Are you playing any indie games?
Uh, right now, no, unfortunately
No.
not.
Or what else are you playing though?
A lot of StarCraft and a lot of
Okay.
Dota. I mean,
Okay.
honestly.
We'll touch on that then I guess. I'll talk about Bleed for a bit. So another game I'm playing is Bleed. It's like this. It's weird because like it's a twin stick shooter where you shoot with the right stick and you move with the left stick, but like it's not like an over the top like a top down game where you're just like running around in circles shooting stuff chasing you. It's a platformer as well. So like the weirdest part about it is you jump with right trigger because you can't obviously move your thumb off of the right stick to press a button because you're shooting and aiming with that. So it's like really weird. And it's a really really difficult game and it's actually like a really really fun like 2D platformer shooter. And I've been really enjoying it so far. Like it's really really difficult. So it's not like for the faint of heart. But as far as I know, you get unlimited retries. Like as soon as you die, you can restart off from like a pretty short checkpoint or something
Wait,
like
so
that.
what's the perspective of the game?
It's like okay. So imagine like a 2D platformer, right?
Like side
So
scrolling?
like yeah, side scrolling.
Yeah.
But like your right stick. So if I want to shoot up, I move the right stick up, and then your character looks up and shoots up.
Uh
And
huh.
if I want to shoot right, I move the right stick to the right, and you shoot to the right. And then you
Okay.
move with the left stick. So it's weird. Yeah, it's like a twin stick shooter, but it's 2D.
Okay.
And then the thing is, you jump with right trigger because your thumb basically has to constantly be on the right stick to shoot. So like if you because you want to jump and shoot at the same time. Uh, so like the game's really cool. It's got really really good like 16-bit graphic-y kind of scheme. But it's just like a fun little game. I think the game only sells for $5 at full retail price. So like if it's ever on sale for like $2, I definitely recommend you go buy it. It's just like a fun little game. It doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's just for fun. Like it's just a fun game where you run around and shoot stuff, and it has tight controls, and the graphics look pretty amazing for being the the Super Nintendo 16-bit graphics. So that's another game I really recommend playing. But you definitely need a controller. I don't even know if it's possible to play on a keyboard and mouse. Maybe it is. I don't know. So yeah. So those are the games that I've been playing this week. So yeah, that's Bleed.
Yeah.
Is that
So it
yeah?
looks like this.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. Yeah.
The
So
cats.
yeah, it's a fun. Yeah, no, it's a fun game. I really recommend it. It's super super cheap. So if you ever get a chance to play it, I just recommend it because like supporting indie game developers and playing fun games.
Yeah. I really actually
Uh,
need to go through my Steam library and play some of these
so yeah, that's
indie
what I'm talking about.
games.
Like I'm always like I can't justify buying a new $60 AAA title when I have like 10 in my Steam catalog that I haven't even played. Like I haven't even beaten Far Cry 3. I'm so disgusted with myself.
Did
And
you
like
get
yeah,
the DLC with it too?
no.
I actually heard it's really amazing.
Oh
Actually.
wait, Blood Dragon? I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, no, it's a separate game. You
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
need Far Cry 3 to play it. Yeah. Yeah, I heard that's awesome. I kind of wish I had that because Far Cry always like I don't really know if I want to go off on this tangent, but Far Cry always is like really redundant towards the end. Like it's the same gameplay over and over, and it's like I can only take so much of it, so that's why I haven't beaten it yet. But the story I thought for Far Cry 3 was pretty awesome. Um, so I really need to go back and play that. But yeah, like I was saying, I have like Hitman Absolution, Tomb Raider, I have a bunch of games I have to play, and I have an even larger back catalog of indie games. So I'm like telling myself like, okay, I'll play one. I'll try to like. I'm gonna be playing 2 indie games and 1 AAA game all the time, constantly. So that way I can kind of get through my catalog, and then feel accomplished instead of feeling like a horrible person who buys everything on Steam sales and never gets around to playing them. So that's what I'm trying to do. And then that way, like also like since we're doing this podcast now, like it's better because I can keep everyone informed on what I'm playing. Like maybe next week I'll be playing like Papers, Please, and Rogue Legacy, like two exciting indie games I really want to play and stuff
Rogue
like that.
Legacy actually looks really amazing. I want to play it
Yeah,
so
I
bad.
know, I know, I know. We all want to play it really badly. So that's like kind of what I'm doing, and I think that's good too because like I can spread the word of these awesome indie games, get more people playing them, help the developers out, and hopefully they'll make even more indie games. And then like also like everyone loves to play fun games, so like I mean I'll probably only tell you the games that I'm playing that are good
Yeah.
because like I don't really want to bash on bad games.
Mhm.
Um, maybe if like if I have mixed feelings on a game, I'll talk about it a bit because maybe you'll really like it or for some reason, or maybe the reason I liked it was an opinion, or I disliked it was an opinion. So
Yeah. So I think next we're gonna probably talk a little bit about StarCraft because I know I'm really into StarCraft, and Dan is too. And yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about StarCraft, the game itself. Maybe going into a little bit of esports. I'm not really sure about that. And then we'll talk a little bit about Dota 2, because Dota 2 is a game that we've been playing for a little while. But we're actually like been playing it a lot recently, like more so than like we did before. But it's a good MOBA, yeah. So what do you think about StarCraft 2 right now?
sorry about that. Okay, so StarCraft 2. Yeah, we won't dwell on just what happened. StarCraft 2. What about StarCraft 2?
All right, so just game. Talk about it. Like, how do you
Oh,
feel about
okay.
the game right
So,
now?
if you're watching this from the standpoint of like our YouTube videos and VODs and stuff like that, um, as you know, well, okay. So I'm Bomberman Dan. I haven't made the official switch yet to Grizzly. So I've obviously been making a lot of StarCraft 2 content. Um, and we're going to probably continue it. We're both pretty busy. Beal the Seal and I, and it's harder to play a lot, especially because like I used to play like pretty competitively. Not like competitively, but like well, I guess
Yeah,
competitively.
like you played in
And,
tournaments, so I mean that's good.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I played. I was like mid masters at one point, and I really love the game. And I think BLCL and I both have like a big passion for esports. We're both esports people. We love video games like in general. Like we love the competitiveness of them. We love the art of them. We love everything about them. So like it's only natural that we love like the competitive side, like the esports side of it. And I'm going to always be like a StarCraft person. Like I'll always try to make content for it. Beal the Seal and I are going to WCS Europe.
Oh, I'm
So
so
for
I'm
s-
so
so
hyped
or
about
no, no,
that.
I said WCS Europe.
Or the
We're going to
WCS
WCS
finals.
season 3 finals.
Yeah,
Sorry.
in Canada. Oh, I'm
I'm
so
just an
hyped. I'm
idiot.
so hyped
Um,
about that.
yeah. So like if you're a fan, if somehow you're watching this because this is like coming up really soon, like if you just find like, these initial few podcasts and you're like, whoa, I like these guys. Maybe you can come see us there. So yeah, we'll be there. Like we'll always be esports people.
Mhm.
Um, Probably most like we love Dota 2 as well. Dota 2 is a big one. Like I love playing Counter Strike Global Offensive, even though I don't really follow the scene and stuff. So
Street
uh,
Fighter. Street Fighter is also
yeah,
really
yeah,
cool.
yeah. We're
Street.
so sort of Street Fighter fanboys and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like we're not really good players or anything like that. But yeah, so like we'll always be like esports people. So I will always be making StarCraft content, or I'll at least be trying to. It's a little bit harder to because I like to give like really. I try to give the best StarCraft content like I can. Like I try to be the most analytical I can, like the most like thoughtful about what I make. So like I won't make StarCraft content if I know it's not going to be good. Like I won't ever throw out it like something a VOD of a game or something or like a crappy walkthrough or something. So like yeah, like StarCraft like takes obviously the most amount of time for me to like make. Like so this podcast like it's not hard for me to play a game and then like know I like it and not like it and then talk about it. Like that doesn't really take much like mental focus or thought or anything like that. But like when I'm watching StarCraft, I'll be like, whoa, like I really like that build because of this, and this, and why it's so good against this, and why he's a mastermind. So, like and the only reason I do that is because I love it and stuff like that. And you'll probably never see me making Dota 2 content like that because I'm
Mhm.
not. I've loved Dota 2 as a game, but I'm obviously not serious
Yeah,
about it
we
like I
definitely
am
play
about StarCraft.
casually. Like we'll get
Yeah,
on and
yeah,
play like maybe 3 games, and then
yeah,
I'll be up
yeah.
for the night.
yeah, and we definitely I like learning about Dota 2 a lot when I want to. Like I'm never like constantly looking for stuff, but I'll
Hmm.
watch like the international and stuff when it's
Yeah,
on.
just like the big tournaments, but like that's where it really differs from StarCraft. Like I'll watch most of the smaller stuff too, but Dota I'll only watch maybe like the biggest tournament or
Yeah,
something.
that's like the best way to describe us. Like we'll be watching like StarCraft, like SC2L and stuff like that, and like very non-big tournaments, not like or small tournaments. And like when it comes down to Dota, like I might watch a stream if there's nothing else on, and it's like Beyond the Summit or like Navi is playing or Alliance is playing or like the big teams because we're like it's really hard to like actually get into two esports like and be super current about them and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, definitely expect StarCraft content too, at least from me. And then yeah, Bill the Seal and I both play a lot of Dota 2
Hmm.
together. So like expect like maybe some fun like random games or something like that, or maybe just us streaming together,
Yeah, and I mean like
just being
from my
stupid.
side, StarCraft content is probably not gonna be there because I'm just a gold player. But I mean, if the need is out there, I might like would want to do like a Road to Diamond kind of stream and just like stream it. Um, I don't know, maybe like for people who are also gold to watch and like see like someone who has the same perspective as them and like complain about the same things, and
Yeah,
maybe like they can get better as I get better.
yeah, that's like
One day I'm gonna be diamond. It's gonna happen.
that's what, yeah, that's like a good things. Yeah, like it's like kind of like build off of that. Like the thing about StarCraft 2 content, especially is because like there's only like two types, and that's like VODs, replays, and like tutorials. Like no one else really. I mean, there's like a few exceptions to that, but like no one really wants us to like to watch us play. Well, maybe we'll play custom games or something like that, or like dicking around. But like a lot of people only watch like StarCraft content to learn to get better, or if they also follow the scene to watch, like Jadong versus Naniwa or something like that. So like yeah, like even like our Dota 2 stuff will probably be a little bit more funny, relaxed, of
Hmm.
course, like not serious at all. Um, but those are like yeah, those are like the games we're always playing. Like if I'm saying I'm playing Bioshock Infinite, Bleed, and Offspring Fling, I'm also always playing StarCraft 2 and Dota 2.
Yeah,
Less
that's a
of Dota
given.
2, but mostly like StarCraft. Because that's because VLC and I are fanboys.
Yeah, kind of.
Um,
That's our game of choice.
Yeah, I mean, if you maybe one day we'll make an episode where we explain why we love StarCraft so much, and that will be like 5 times the length of an entire episode.
Yeah, that'll be like a
Um,
like a 2.5 hour video.
yeah. So, um, does that about wrap us up?
Uh, yeah, I think that's about it. As far as this podcast go, um, we're probably gonna try to make it about once a week on the weekends. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Also, thanks for sticking by if you've made it this far. Of course, this is the first episode, and we'll probably have technical and like other difficulties for like at least like the entire time we're doing this, because we're fucking amateurs doing
yeah,
this in our spare time, college students. Like I have a chem exam I really need to study for tomorrow. It is tomorrow, and I need to study for it. But like yeah, we're just doing this in our spare time. Like we made these like we made this overlay. Like I think well I didn't make the overlay. Bill made the overlay like
yeah.
2 days ago,
I made the overlay.
and
Pretty proud of it.
like he learned how to use obs like today or yesterday. So
I mean, obviously,
obvious.
like you can see, like if you were watching up to this point, we had a few issues with like the media and it bleeding into
Yeah,
like Grizzly's
my video
video, or
disconnected, and then I had someone come into my room, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot to lock my door. So shit like that happens. I mean, it's gonna happen. I mean, I don't really see how that subtracts too much from the quality because I don't think we claimed we were professionals or anything. But yeah, so again, like thanks for watching this, and then of course there's gonna probably be technical difficulties, so just like bear with us.
yeah.
Um,
This will also be
there's not
coming
much else we
to
can say there.
more like an edited version where we take out the
Yeah,
breaks.
we're gonna edit out the breaks for YouTube, and like maybe some like stupid stuff. I don't know if like something happens,
Like
like
obviously
I
in the
don't know.
beginning where we were just testing out the stream.
Yeah, or like if for some reason like we mess up and we go on break but it's still like going and you can hear our audio and stuff like that. Like we're probably gonna like we'll just like break stuff out like that.
Yeah.
Just like to be a better viewer experience and stuff like that. So.
But I mean, this has been
Uh,
going on for like an hour 15, so I mean, with
oh
breaks that's
wow.
like an hour. So I mean, I think that's good. I think it's a good
Yeah,
point to
yeah.
wrap up.
All right, cool. So yeah, I'm Grizzly from Arctos Gaming. So our new rebranded channel kind of thing. And I would just like to thank all of you for watching, and hopefully I will make a video with you guys next week.
Yeah. So thanks for watching.
Bye.